can't say time heals all wounds if you didn't address the wound. Does that make sense? And so there's that side of the extreme where wounds are not being addressed, and they cannot heal if they're not addressed. So part of healing is addressing the wound itself. And now how do you address it? Well, it depends on the situation. Sometimes it involves getting professional help. It cannot be ignored and you expect that it's going to go away, because again, a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound, it doesn't make it go. In fact, time is it's going to become infected. And then that infection could lead to an amputation. And so emotionally, it's the same thing with wounds. We have to address them, we have to heal them, we have to treat them, and then time can heal them. Does that make sense? But then there's another extreme, and that is what I call picking the scab. Yeah? And that's that when something is trying to heal, but what happens is sometimes we get stuck in it. We can also get stuck in our past. And that's another unhealthy pattern, where a person is not able to move forward because of this being stuck in the past. And again, that's part of addressing it, is so that one can address it and then can move on. We need to be more compassionate with ourselves. This is something I've recently noticed, especially in speaking with a lot of women, and that is that we are so hard on ourselves. And this negative self-talk, I've picked up on this, that there is within our community, and actually women in general and men as well, we have a lot of very, very negative self-talk. We beat ourselves up to an extent that if we ever spoke to anyone else in the way we speak to ourselves, we would basically sabotage our relationships. Sometimes the pain that we feel is an indication that there's something we need to change in our life circumstances. For example, we are in an unhealthy relationship, perhaps an abusive relationship, and the pain that we're feeling is because we need to get out of that unhealthy relationship or that abusive relationship. So sometimes we have to also look at our lives and see what are the things in our lives. See, because our hearts and our minds and our body, they give us indications about things that are going wrong, and we have to go and make a change. Let go of the myth of perfection. Especially us women, we are taught that we're supposed to be perfect. And this myth is actually crippling us. And I'm just going to come from, even from a spiritual perspective. When we believe that we're supposed to be perfect, what happens is that when we slip or we commit a sin, many people fall into despair. And the reason they fall into despair is because they had the myth of perfection. When in fact, Allah and His Messenger never taught us that we're supposed to be perfect. Human beings by definition are human in that they are not perfect. We are not perfect, and we will slip and we will commit sins, and we're told that the best of us are not those who don't commit sins, but those who repent and get back up when they slip. And so keeping in mind that you're not supposed to be perfect, but what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do is to not give up hope and to continue to go forward. And when we fall, because everyone falls sometimes, everyone slips sometimes, and when you do, having that, not falling into despair spiritually, but knowing that we're not meant to be perfect and getting back up. That those who repent are those who are most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.